Alright, what else do we need here? Grab some GameCube titles that we used to play all the time. I seriously can't wait to play these again. Super Mario Strikers, Smash Bros. Melee, Mario Kart Double Dash, plus N64 classics of course, Mario Kart 64 and Super Smash Bros. Man, so many hours, so many late nights. I seriously cannot wait for my old roommate to get here.
You rang.
Hey guys, welcome back for another episode, and for any newcomers, welcome to the channel. Today is just about having some fun with quality and some pretty hilarious highlights from this past weekend, since my old freshman college roommate flew in from Minnesota for the first time in years. Aside from getting back into 5 of our most competitive games that we had our most heated rivalries in, we also broke up the day with other fun activities to keep us fresh and ready to game. What's also funny is that I was planning on finally doing a different type of video at Frankie's Fun Park with his help, which for those that don't know is similar to other fun chains that have arcades plus more, kind of like a Dave & Buster's, Grand Slam, Fat Cats, pretty much that type of deal. Crazy enough, thought it would be perfect timing to go and claim the $100 gift card that I somehow happened to win from their Facebook page too. I didn't even know they were open again, so I was pumped. What's up guys, we're going to Frankie's today, a little bit different kind of video. We're gonna go in there and face off against 4 machines that we can actually get the jackpot on. No luck, no nonsense, just down to you and your determination. 4 machines, let's go.
That was a great take.
Thank you.
It's so funny.
But when we got inside is when we realized that only the outdoor activities were open, so that video will just have to wait a little bit longer. Like I was saying, today's just a fun and quick look into those 5 games, 3 of which I've never even mentioned before on the channel, going over the historic rivalry with my freshman roommate, Merrick, yeah, not Eric, but Merrick, the games themselves, personal history, while also checking out the best and funniest clips that we had this weekend. As you can see, game number 1 is going to start out with Mario Kart Double Dash. And I'll be the first to admit, I passed on this one growing up. It handles way differently than on the N64, and I didn't get the excitement behind the 2 characters on one cart. Fast forward to 2009 when I met my freshman roommate for the very first time, and Double Dash was one of his most played games growing up. It went from a game that I avoided playing because I suck so bad due to the different drifting, and when playing my roommate, it went from hearing, "You'll never win a single race against me," to "You'll never beat me in a single Grand Prix," to "You'll never beat me in the 16 race All Cup Tour," to us eventually have a post-it note taped on our wall with tally marks under little pictures that I drew for the Mushroom, Flower, Star, Special, and All Cup wins for each of us. As the semesters progressed, so did our mastery and constantly snaking through all of the tracks. We used to play with different carts and characters too, until we recognized and settled into the commanding power of the unlockable train cart. As our tally count grew from a handful to dozens, so did our abilities, and at some point we even found out how to dodge the infamous blue shells with a perfectly timed boost and letting go of your joystick at the same time to throw it off your trail, which also became monumental and regular enough to become another stat on our post-it note. Even though we are pretty much dead even in competition these days, and I've even managed to excel just a little bit more in perfecting runs on the time trials, I humbly plug into second player every single time we play this game, just like old times. Being able to appreciate this game also had me looking more forward to the Wii Mario Kart, which is an entirely different and slower way to boost, so this game will always have that especially unique place in my heart. There's so much replayability and fun to be had, and the 2-player All-Cup Grand Prix are intense every single time, and the other racers, or the riffraff as we call them, are just enough of a factor to punish not getting out fast and staying up there. The racing mechanics are addicting. The switching of your characters coinciding with your item usage is strategic, along with the X-Factor lightnings, Bowser shells, blue shells, crazy banana or fake item box throws. Bottom line, it was the first game we popped in of the visit, and it was also the last. Super Smash Bros. Melee. Talk about a gigantic can of worms. First of all, has to be said, I don't know when else I could mention that Merrick and I played together on and off for years before we actually won a campus Melee tournament in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Beating a couple of twins that hosted Smash Bros. Melee meetings and practices, they knew what they were doing. We forgot to tag ourselves for these couple of sessions together and even alternated first and second player a couple times, so if you really have any timestamps of something you see and you're curious on who did what, I'm happy to answer if you comment. Personally, my brothers and I got the GameCube with a couple games along with Melee for Christmas of 2001. There are a lot of reasons to love this game with the primary layers of quality like the outstanding graphics, gorgeous music, tons of additional characters, an entire screen full of stages to choose from, and a much more fluid and faster version of the beloved addictive fighting action. Then there's the other side of Melee, the alive and well competitive side. The side that understands wave dashes, which is a short hop immediately followed with a diagonal air dodge into the ground or platform, used for all types of situations, and crazy fast movement on offense, defense, and in neutral. There's also understanding how to cancel or shorten landing lag of attacks, like L canceling, which is tapping L within the specific little window just before you land on the ground to greatly reduce your landing lag. Hell, even just the most basic of quote advanced techniques of consistently being able to perform short hops, which depending on your character means only tapping and releasing that little jump button before 3 to 5 frames on average for most of the characters in order to get this to work. Other things to mention are pressing down to do what's called a fast fall, and if you're trying to be really good at Melee, you have to consistently be able to short hop, fast fall, and L cancel. Yet another aspect of this type of Melee is just how aggressive and creative you can be while on the ledge fighting a person, which will only work out with a successful edgeguard if you execute with clean perfection. Defensively, there's also learning about directional influence, or DI for short, where, for example, you try to mash upward on the joystick to not get sent outward nearly as far, or even holding down and pressing R to tech or stick to the ground instead of sliding off. There are chain grab opportunities where you can put multiple throws together with certain characters on certain characters depending on their percentage. There are also things called tech chases, which involves reacting to whatever direction the knockdown character decides to roll up or get up with. There are also other technical aspects that we sometimes do but on accident, like shield dropping, which means having your shield up but still being able to go down through the platform without putting away your shield, and not accidentally doing the stationary spot dodge that happens with a shield and down. And of course you can't forget about edge cancels too, which is another way to greatly reduce the landing animation of a character. The way that works is by landing on a platform or floor mid-aerial attack to reduce the animation, especially with the L cancel. There's just so much going on with Melee, and it's impossible to ignore that it's literally one of the fastest, most sophisticated, delicate, and absurdly crazy precise and overwhelmingly deep competitive cerebral games that has ever existed. There's even a 4-hour documentary on the rise of its competitive scene, which is incredibly well done. Even my wife said it was good, and she's not even into this kind of stuff. Although growing up, I used to beat all of my friends, and often my brothers too, just due to being a bit more elusive and with my spatial awareness, those same things weren't working nearly as well, and Merrick beat the shit out of me in this game that I used to think I was good at. A lot of Melee players have stories like this. It's because you can be legitimately somewhat good as far as the 99% of people are concerned, but that top 1% that knows what Melee is just doesn't compare at all. They're entirely different games. Over the past several years, I've watched a lot of competitive Melee, and it takes a while to even follow and understand what the hell is happening on the screen. It's just one of those games that, in a parallel universe somewhere, I'm grinding this game 40 hours a week. I mean, kind of joking, but seriously, if I had 3 wishes, after world peace and global sustainability of course, it would be hard for one of those wishes to not be granting me crazy Melee skills, because I, along with so many others, can really appreciate just how absurdly impressive it is to be one of the greats in this game. It can take horrendous tolls on people that strive to be great, and I just never want to get in a mindset of the sunken cost fallacy, which would basically be like, well, I spent all these hours, days, weeks, months, and years playing, so it would be a waste if I ever stopped heavily playing. And I just want to avoid that type of black hole, which is why I don't play a lot of super time consuming games out there, and I wish that some of them came out when I was younger and when time didn't matter nearly as much. Fortunately for my sake, Merrick and I have gotten much more even over the years, and I do win pretty much almost half the time. We are often dead even over long sessions, but he's still just a little bit better, and it's always such a blast when we get together to go toe-to-toe for hours and hours on end in our favorite stages with a bunch of these different deceptively deep characters.
Yeah!
Mario Kart 64. So this is one of the games that we got with our Nintendo 64 for Christmas back in 1997, and just like millions of other kids, we played the crap out of it. It just wasn't until way later, I mean high school and afterward, is when we learned about the power slide technique of this game. It's something that really went under the radar of a ton of players. Let me say this, if you ever think Mario Kart is boring, you're just doing it wrong, plain and simple. There's more than enough to keep your mind and thumbs completely engaged the entire time. Basically, Mario Kart 64 is to me as Double Dash is to Merrick, and he's always plugging into Player 2 since I showed this one to him back in the day. I absolutely understand just how good professional players are at this game, and it's an entirely other level. But I'm just saying, I've never personally met anybody that could regularly beat me in a Grand Prix, even with all the randomness factors that can go on in a game like Mario Kart 64. Plus, you can't even really dodge the shells in this game, which makes some outcomes much more reliant on items than skill. And dodging a blue shell in that game, it's not nearly the same. I've managed to avoid getting hit just twice in my entire life by sliding the back of my cart into the edge of a wall or object the exact moment that the shell was coming into the screen, which actually blocked it and made that familiar dink sound. But it is so rare and pretty much at all times that I'm aware of, there's not much you can do at all. Aside from power slide, I have two other important words: rubber band. As in rubber band AI, which means the computer's pace is greatly influenced by how fast player 1 is going. So much so that I've literally watched a world record mushroom cup attempt on YouTube where this world record pace player got second on Moo Moo Farms, if you're curious, That's just how intense this rubber band effect is. With that being said, if you are pushing the pace in a Grand Prix, it's going to greatly screw with whoever is in second place, and that's where some of the most hilarious influence and finishes happen with this game. You might think going one-on-one would be a real way to face somebody, but it's not at all, since second player gets the most powerful items and it feels like pretty much a coin flip on who will win, as in whoever gets the better item on the home stretch. So a Grand Prix, aside from a time trial face-off, is truly the better way to go about this, and of course this thought process applies to Double Dash Grand Prix contests as well. Aside from power sliding and knowing how to make a straight line, you can also hop over absurdly large walls like in Wario Stadium, or even jump across that gap in Rainbow Road. One way or another, there's pretty much a shortcut on almost every single track in Mario Kart 64, and they're astonishing and hilarious to pull off when you're playing against somebody. But speaking of N64 multiplayer rivalry, after these closing looks at the racing action, let's talk about our next game. Super Smash Bros. On the Nintendo 64 was a life-altering title for many. It's one of the games we loved that we didn't actually have growing up. Throughout the years, it hasn't been something we played as much together, but it is always a great time to go back and throw down in the first of the Smash series. While its metagame is drastically different from Melee, it still has excellent competitive merit that rewards combo-oriented play, along with Z-canceling being the same idea as L-canceling, to greatly reduce landing lag and keep yourself moving fast, along with a lot of importance on your short hop fast fall and your edge guarding skills. I actually asked for Super Smash Bros. For my parents for Christmas in 2001, that's how much I still love this game, but you know how that story goes, we got Smash Bros. Melee instead, which was a real fork in the road with my relationship in this game. And of course it didn't hurt trying to be as nice as you could to the kid on the block that did have Smash Bros. On their N64. Just throwing it out there, I will say, for those that don't know, grabbing is extremely powerful in this game, and many of the characters can go for them with little to no risk whatsoever. And as I was playing with better and better people, I noticed just how drastically more often the players did grab, but then the next level of that is of course knowing what you can do in the air to avoid being grabbed. And important to mention, just like Melee, you can do what's known as shield grab, which means you can press a button while your shield is up to immediately grab instead of dropping your shield before grabbing. The music and the sounds in this game will always be so iconic, along with the original voice. There aren't nearly as many highlights here since we didn't play quite as much, but we still had an excellent time with plenty of excitement and hilarious moments. Last but certainly not least, let's talk about Super Strikers. So the way I got into Strikers was actually being legitimately hooked at a kiosk in a Target not much after I got my driver's license. It was one of the first places I went with one of my friends. Funny memory of just not being able to walk away from this thing. And while my friend was watching me play, an older Asian guy stopped by to watch, and he was laughing his ass off at the hits, items, the crazy goals, and just the overall chaotic pace of the whole thing. This is actually a title that went pretty unappreciated and overlooked for a while, but Next Level Games absolutely nailed it with this one. I've basically always been first player for this game since I grandfathered Merrick along with several other college friends into this one. Basically it's kept pretty simple with A to pass, B to shoot, and Y to hit. On defense, A is to switch players, B is to slide and steal, and Y is to still hit of course. But as you play, you'll find out that there's just a little bit more to it than that. You can hold L to lob your pass or your shot, you can charge your shots, or even pull up for a full 2 times charge attempt with your captain if you find the space for it. And then we get to the items. You get randomized items to reward good play and also punish unclean play too. If the game determines you took a good shot, make slow-mo perfect passes, and if you charge a shot, you get an item. If one of your players gets checked without the ball, the other player is punished for their cheap shot by way of their opponent immediately getting an item. When we got together again to play this game, it was once again competitive as hell. We didn't have anything happen that was totally absurd or rare, so I just clipped our goals from 2 games, and for the first time in my history with this game, I actually lost more than I won, since Merrick was playing amazing. So good job, Merrick, but you know what? I had more shot attempts overall, and I hope you know that this means you're going down next time. Can't wait for our next gaming session, and in the classic banter fashion, I will tell you to control your cart, and also remind you that you're not even good. Overall, guys, the video's end card will be once the second game's highlights are concluded. I just want to say, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this content, please leave a comment about your favorite part or any memories that you have. Remember to like and subscribe if you want to see this type of video again at some point in the future, although the channel's main focus revolves around diving into and beating a variety of hard-to-beat and rare games. Next project is Battletoads Double Dragon, with a 4-way comparison broken into 2 parts, with the 16-bit ports of them on the Super Nintendo and Genesis, along with the 2 8-bit ports afterward once I get the NES and Game Boy copies. Hope to see you there, and I also hope that you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you again.